Welcome to Competition Everything, History Bit. This is Episode 1 of History, Episode 1 of U.S. History. Settling the U.S. Part 1, Jamestown. Before we go any further, please be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Also, if you have any questions, you can visit our website at competitioneverything.weebly.com. Go to the Contact Us page and you can send whatever questions or comments you have. We will try to respond as quickly as possible. We have two updates for our channel today. 1. Next video will be posted on the website. So once you go to the website, go to the YouTube tab. In that big box, there should be what the next video will be about, who's creating the next video, and what category the next video will be in. The second one is if you live in the Memphis area and are interested in joining the team as a science specialist, please contact us at cememphis2019@gmail.com. Your help would be so much appreciated. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the story of Jamestown. Before we actually start discussing Jamestown itself, let's go over how the craze over the New World began. So there was this guy named Christopher Columbus, probably heard of him, and he tried to travel to India. He tried to find a new route from Spain to India that would take less time and be much safer. Well, he sailed and he encountered land. He landed on an island in the Caribbean, though he didn't know it at the time. He saw people there and thought he had arrived in India, and as a result, he began calling the Native Americans Indians, which is why a lot of us today still call the Native Americans Indians. It's because of Christopher Columbus. And after that, he returned to Spain to tell Ferdinand and Isabella. At this point, he probably already realized that maybe it wasn't India he was looking at. So after that, he returned to the Caribbean, and he went on a mass terror spree. He captured, he enslaved, and he murdered Native American people. His journey kicked off the race for America. And now moving on to the beginnings of Jamestown. King James I signed a charter for the Virginia Company to settle area in North America in 1606. Virginia Company set off December of 1606 and arrived in Chesapeake Bay in April of 1607. So basically, Chesapeake Bay is a little bay that is bordered by Maryland and Virginia. You can see it on the map. It kind of splits Virginia into two, and it's that reason why Maryland looks weird when it's separated from everything else. And after that, they chose a location and named it Jamestown. It was along the James River, and both places were named after King James I. And also, immediately upon arrival, they formed a governing committee. Edward Wingfield was declared the first president of the colony. Relations with Native Americans. Most Native Americans in the area were members of the Powhatan tribe. At first, a normal trade was conducted. Colonists traded tools for food. However, relations with the colonists sometimes grew bitter, and even at times violent. I heard, and I researched based off books, that at one point, the Native Americans were even killing people that wandered outside the fort. And finally, on May 21st, Jamestown was attacked by the Native Americans after one of its leaders, Newport, took a few people to go up the river and explore. They were driven back, but would mark the first of a series of times where tensions boiled over between the two groups. Leadership changes. After struggles within the colony, Edward Wingfield was replaced as president by John Ratcliffe. During that time, many people died of disease. They didn't have proper shelter. Their food supply was not good, and so John Ratcliffe came in. However, Ratcliffe didn't do much better of a job, and the people eventually demanded him to resign. We don't know at this point if he was forced out or he resigned based on his will. However, despite this, John Smith replaced Radcliffe. At this point, John Smith refocused the people of Jamestown into producing food, saying that he who does not work does not eat unless he is stalled by illness. His efforts brought Jamestown back up with an ample food supply and to work with during the winter. It was great until he left. Now the starving time. In the year after John Smith left, 1609, the colony was entirely unprepared. Their food supply for the winter was so low that eventually colonists were forced to eat the colony's animals, horses, cats, and dogs. And even then, there was still enough. There was still not enough. And they began eating each other, practicing cannibalism. Only 1/5 of the people that were in Jamestown survived the winter of 1609 through 1610. 1610, sorry. And finally, however, there was a big break. John Rolfe brought a special kind of tobacco to Jamestown. He somehow got it off a Spanish person, not legitimate. However, the tobacco thrived in Jamestown's climate, and the colony quickly began producing large amounts of it. And here's another side story with John Rolfe. Englishmen captured Pocahontas and held her for ransom, demanding that Powhatan to return stolen tools and captured humans. Basically what had happened was that the Native Americans raided Jamestown. They captured 7 people and they took a bunch of weapons. So they devised a plan to capture Pocahontas, take her, and negotiate with the Native Americans to return the humans and the weapons. However, the Native Americans returned the humans, not the weapons. So Pocahontas was still held captive by the Englishmen. And it was at this point that John Rolfe met Pocahontas. They eventually fell in love. And as a result of their marriage, there was great improvement in relations between the Native Americans and English settlers. That's all for this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and check out our website again at competitioneverythingweebly.com. See you there. Any questions, you can contact us. Be sure to watch out for the next episode. Subscribe, like, comment,